All right, hello everybody, and welcome to Q&A live stream number 172. It is approximately 8:36 p.m. right here on the East Coast in the great state of New Jersey. Today is Wednesday, August 4th, 2021. And yeah, guys, so a lot is going on. Some Uniqlo stores are unfortunately going to be closing. So very, very, very unfortunate that those Uniqlo stores are going to be closing on their final day. Denver, rather, the Colorado one's closing the 15th, and the one in what is it, Magnificent Mile in Chicago, Illinois, that will be closing the 22nd. So about a week apart, both of those stores are shutting down. Hello, Fantech0104. How are you? So yeah, and then obviously with Lord and Taylor, we have the uses for the former spaces, which are going to be all York Factory stores. A couple of exceptions, obviously. Again, not every Lord and Taylor store will be used as a York Factory, but the majority of them will be used as a York Factory. There are a couple of exceptions, of course. So. Hi, Brandon. How are you? I'm pretty good, Fantech0104. Thank you for asking. So, we should have some more people joining in a moment. Yeah, so. Hi, Elevators of Steel City by Otis Elevator Fan 102. How are you? So yeah, we'll give people a couple of seconds because it takes a little bit for everybody to join in, and I get that. So. So not too many closings. Oh, I know. Yeah, they're doing it with all of them. York Factory. Couple of exceptions. They're doing it with Manhasset, Garden City, Walt Women's Shops, Westfield, South Shore. All the stores on Long Island are getting it. Scarsdale is getting it. Fashion Center, not Westfield, Garden State Plaza, Willowbrook, Livingston, Rockaway, Bridgewater, Woodbridge Center, Palisade Center, Quaker Bridge is getting it. Freehold Raceway Mall and King of Prussia in Philadelphia, and a couple of locations down in Maryland, one location in Florida, and a couple of locations in Massachusetts and Connecticut as well that are all going to become York Factories. There are a couple of exceptions. Boston, Massachusetts, downtown Westfield, New Jersey, Westfield Garden State Plaza, and Bala Kinwood will become other things. They will not be York Factory things. That's cool. I'm pretty good, Mohammed Sonic Boom. How are you? Yeah, they're all going to be York Factories. It's a decent concept. I do like the fact that they're trying to incorporate an office building within the shopping mall. I think that's a very smart strategy. No, there's a couple of exceptions that York Factory won't be going in. Westfield Garden State Plaza, downtown Westfield, Bala Kinwood, and Boston, Massachusetts. Aside from that, yeah, all the Lord and Taylor stores are becoming York Factories, which you could probably say goodbye to those Schindlers. And because it's Hudson Bay, they're all going to be Kone, I bet. So they're all going to have. I mean, there'll probably be some different variations of the Kones, but I think that's going to basically be the same. Some locations are going to be 3 floors. Some locations are going to be 2 floors. Bridgewater will be 3 floors. Stanford will be 3 floors. Fashion Center will be 3 floors. Manhasset will be 3 floors, and Scarsdale will be. Actually, no. Scarsdale, I don't think they're doing. Yonkers, I believe they're doing. Yeah, they're probably going to be Kones. Yeah. And Palisades, I believe it's going to be 2 stories. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take a look right now. York Factory. I think Palisades is going to be 2 stories, if I'm not mistaken. They might be utilizing the 3rd and 4th floors, but it's an interesting concept. It really is. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I'll actually share my screen. Yeah, that's also expected to become a York Factory too, as a matter of fact. I'm actually going to share my screen and show you guys exactly what I mean, because it's nice to describe it and all, but it's a little bit easier when I can show you guys physically on the actual thing. So we'll go to workspaces here. So it's going to be a bunch of former Lord and Taylor stores, and you can see on the map right here So for an example, we'll hit the Palisade Center one first. Yeah. So we'll see site details. Um, so this one, I believe they're going to be only utilizing the first and second floors of the building. Look, I mean, it's going to be a really interesting concept when it's done. I can't believe they're doing Palisade Center, but it's going to look pretty. I think it's going to look pretty cool when it's done. I think it's a really cool concept that Hudson Bay. I mean, Hudson Bay needed to do something with the spaces. They needed to absolutely do something with the spaces. So, oh, so no, they won't. No, Boscov's will not be coming to Westfield Garden State Plaza. Yeah, so the thing is, I have to stop sharing my. Yeah, it's again. You guys can look at the link. As a matter of fact, I will even I'll even give you guys. I'll literally put the link in the video description, and you guys can go. All you have to do is scroll to the bottom of the page, and you go, and it'll see all of the stores basically, and you could choose any location. There are a couple of exceptions, of course: Boston, Westfield Garden State Plaza, downtown Westfield, Bala Cynwyd. But I would say about 90% of the Lord and Taylor stores are now expected to be a York factory, which is a smart strategy given that Hudson Bay owns real estate. So I guess Hudson Bay is finally putting the buildings to good use and focusing most of their department store attention on Saks. Now, the only way that York Factory will fall through, there are going to be two factors if York Factory does fall through. Number one, Hudson Bay goes bankrupt in Canada. And number two, the spread of we have another wave of COVID. So don't get me wrong. This is a great concept, and this would really pump a lot of lives back into malls. The question now comes down to if we have another wave of COVID, would this project be completely canceled, and could Hudson Bay file for bankruptcy and completely cancel the project? So the thing is, look, the concept is great. It's beautiful. It's this and that. It's going to be all this work environment. It's all, but the problem is we're in an unknown time period. So everything's not rock solid. Again, this could all change completely. This could all turn around and they could say, yeah, we're going bankrupt. And that could also mean the end too for Saks Fifth Avenue if Hudson Bay does go under. But it could go through. There's a lot of unknowns. It might go through. They might actually go ahead with it, or something happens with COVID and they have to sell off York Factory, or they have to cancel the project because of the pandemic. So there's a lot of ways that this can go. I hopefully, fingers and toes crossed, this will be a reality for a lot of shopping malls, because a lot of shopping malls that include mid-scale and upscale, they really need this right now. And the important thing is they need this to be thriving, especially the mid and the upper scale malls. This will really complement them very well. Yeah, yes, Willowbrook is getting a York Factory. Yeah, I know. Hudson Bay should have never went private. That was a huge mistake. But you know what? If the pandemic screws them, then York Factory is canceled, basically. So it's kind of up in the air for now. Don't get me wrong. The concept is beautiful. I mean, even just going through it store by store by, I thought ultimately, and my friend told me, I think my friend told me like 2 nights ago or 3 nights ago, I was like, is this for one? And then, I did a little bit of further digging in. I'm like, wow, this is going to be this is going to be like 90% of the Lord and Taylor fleet, even the ones that closed in 2019. Like that's, now, Morristown isn't getting one, which to me is interesting. Or no, are they doing one in Morristown? No, they're not doing one in Morristown, which is interesting that they didn't choose that one, which is interesting. So, oh, hello, Scorch. How are you? No, they will not be doing a Boscov's at Westfield Garden State Plaza. If there's any mall in Paramus that would get a Boscov's, it would be Paramus Park. But I don't think Boscov's is looking to be in Paramus anytime soon. Hello, Sears Productions. How are you? Hello, Matt. How are you? Yes, York Factory would be good for Westfield South Shore. But the question is it going to hold? So it's still being used for a vaccination site. Well, I'm glad they're still utilizing it for that, especially given that they're really going to try and roll out the vaccine now. Look, I'm glad I got vaccinated when I did. I mean, the incentives are nice, but I was more for just getting it. I didn't really care about the incentives. I just really wanted to get vaccinated. I was like I want to be the first in line. Like the second they opened it, I was like, yeah, I got to do this. I didn't wait till like the very absolute end. And I know some people did, but But that's good. At least they're still using it as a vaccination site, especially at a high traffic location like King of Prussia, and the fact that King of Prussia is the largest shopping mall in the state of Pennsylvania. Hi Donovan, how are you? Yeah, I agree. Hudson Bay should have never gone private. Oh, you're playing Mario Kart Wii. That's fun. Boscov's is replacing Sears. No, 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 no. Not Prems. No, that was replaced with Stu Leonard's. Yes, York Factory. Yeah, depending specifically on the location, York Factories will either be 2 floors or 3 floors. It depends on specifically the location. My nearest York Factory will be Fashion Center. I'm getting the vaccine in October. Oh, okay. I mean, you qualify for it. Why? I don't know why you'd wait till October. That's a long way away. No, not at Rockaway Town Square Mall. Unless there was something I didn't hear about Boscov's. It would be interesting though. It would be interesting um, to see if Boscov's at Rockaway. No, Balakinwood was not included. Balakinwood is being completely knocked down, and they're doing a whole redevelopment project. No, Boscov's will not be coming to Quaker Bridge. Boscov's is not opening up a store in New York City. The closest Boscov's to New York City is Woodbridge Center, and it's probably going to stay that way. No, the only York factory in Pennsylvania will be King of Prussia, and that's going to complement King of Prussia Mall pretty well, honestly. Um, no, no, Primark is not replacing Sears. No, we don't know what's replacing. I don't even know what you're talking about, Brandon. Ouch, scratching my hair. No, Balakinwood is not getting one. No. So the thing is, it has to say site plan. Well, if it says site plan, that means it's getting a York factory. If there's no site plan, that means it's not going to be a York factory. No, it's not getting one. No, because no, Balakinwood leads you right to what's it called? It literally leads you right to King of Prussia. Yeah, they're not going to have one there. That's King of Prussia. Wait, are they? York Factory at Ball. Oh, man. Okay, maybe they are doing one at Balakinwood then. Huh. Interesting that they're doing one there. That's really okay. So okay, maybe they are. Let me check. I wonder if they're doing one at Westfield Garden State Plaza. Let's see. Did they fix that too? Yeah, no. Westfield Garden State Plaza is not getting one. Okay, so they are okay. Yeah, that's weird. That I thought they were doing a town center there. That's weird. Yeah, but Westfield Garden State Plaza still is not getting one. And Massachusetts, it's only going to be four, I believe. Actually, no, three. Boston's not included. Connecticut, it's all four of them. Even doing Danbury Fair Mall. It's going to be really interesting, this whole York factory thing. Yeah, I think it sounds like they're going to. Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, not yeah. Many Sears stores become different things. They don't all become that. Oh yeah, Bala Kinwood is getting one. Okay, I didn't see that. Yeah, I guess they are gonna do two Bala Kinwood. Yeah, no, they're not doing one at Westfield Garden. They're just Fashion Center, which is interesting. Probably the mall acquired the space. Yeah, and I guess York Factory didn't want to. They didn't want two locations within Paramus. It probably would have hurt one. It makes sense. They're better off just doing it at Fashion Center. That's a shame too. I'm so glad I got a store tour of that. Yeah, I know. Denver's closing the 15th and Miracle Mile's closing the 22nd. Ironically enough, when the two Sears stores and the two Kmart's, yeah, those are not this week, but I believe 2 weeks from this upcoming Sunday, the Sears in what is it, Westland and Media, and then the Kmart in what is it, South Lake Tahoe and Freedom. They're all wrapping up liquidation by the end of this month. I can't believe I'm saying that now. Yeah, it's crazy. But the good news is I will be able to make a video on that topic before I'm out of town once again, heading down to the beach for a week. So I'll be able to make a video on that topic. I don't think so. No, that's a high profile location. Uniqlo probably in Chicago is what's it called? Uniqlo and Miracle Mile just yeah. No, I'm not doing a video on Shoppers World. I'm just not doing that. I'm sorry. And it's in a Century 21 spot. It's not like Primark is significant because it's going in an anchor spot. Yeah, okay, Century, but I count more like the traditional anchors, not like the discount anchors. Although Century 21 was a significant loss, unfortunately. So, but no, I do not plan on doing a video on that spot. Ooh, that's nice. 88 Westinghouse elevator. Yeah, we got a couple Westinghouse elevators around here. Matter of fact, I was just on a ThyssenKrupp like less than an hour ago. One of my local public libraries had one, um, and I took a quick ride on it. Or one of the libraries of mine. It happened to be open till 8, and I said, you know what? I need to take a walk, and it was in the area. Yeah, the building has a weird layout. Their community center's in the basement. Yeah, it's really weird. Like the community center's in the basement, the library's on the second floor, and the municipal offices are on the first floor. York Factory, it's a co-working space like WeWork. That's what it is basically. It's like Hudson's Bay's. It's like Hudson's Bay's version of WeWork. And that's what York Factory is. It's a really interesting concept. No, Green Acres Mall is really nothing special. I have no desire to go there. Yeah, in my immediate area. We're getting a Shake Shack with a drive-through only in the next couple of months. And Westfield Garden State Plaza is getting a Pinstrips too. By the way, they were supposed to do Riverside. I'm glad they opted for Westfield Garden State Plaza instead. Honestly, and that Uniqlo space is absolutely perfect for it. They're going to completely gut those elevators and they're going to put a new elevator there. That's interesting. Yeah. No, it's a community center. Yeah, and they actually lock off the community center floor when they don't have events going on down there. But it's community center, basement, borough offices on the first floor, and then on the second floor they have the library. Pinstrips is an entertainment place. The rent was incredibly high for Uniqlo. They couldn't exactly afford it, and they downsized the store significantly from 2 floors to 1 floor. And they picked up a store in Paramus Park. They're at American Dream too, but the lease at Westfield Garden State Plaza was just ridiculously expensive, and they just couldn't do it anymore. So originally Uniqlo was supposed to be 2 level locations, but now they just do 1 level locations. I guess the 2 level locations was a test, and I guess it really didn't go well. So now they're just doing 1 level stores. But yeah, so getting back to Uniqlo, Uniqlo actually closed they closed Westfield Garden State Plaza, but they just moved up to Paramus Park. And then what's it called? And that space became right now it's a STEM thing, which it's really weird. And STEM is expected to move out of there now, and Pinstrips is expected to be the permanent replacement for that. So yeah, it's going to be drive-through and like outdoor dining. I believe they're not going to be doing indoor dining. It was where an old Mount Fuji was, believe it or not. Yeah, no, it was very short-lived. I don't know exactly. I think it closed either 2 or 3 years ago. It was very short-lived at Westfield. Well, they downsized the store significantly, but before that was Uniqlo for many years. That was the Westfield Garden State Plaza's only location. Old Navy. Old Navy moved out of there in favor of Paramus Park and the Bergentown Center outlet. Um, and now and ironically enough, now they're back at Westfield Garden. So now they have three locations: an Outlet in Paramus, an Old Navy at Westfield Garden State Plaza, and an Old Navy at Paramus Park. Now, if you look at the Westfield Garden State Plaza mall map, Old Navy just took up a tiny little chunk of the former JCPenney first floor space. Does Nordstrom, if Nordstrom doesn't have a store in Boston, I think that wouldn't be bad. But I think with today's changing retail, I just don't know if Nordstrom wants the money for that. As it was, they took a huge gamble with their stores in New York City, and look at what they had to do. They had to close Freehold, unfortunately. So, which is the only. Oh, they're putting a cheesecake factory near Disney World. That would be interesting. What was the first Macy's in New Jeff? I don't know what you mean by that, Scorch. Yeah, Uniqlo. I mean, the Westfield Garden State Plaza refurbishment of the elevators was good, but then yeah, it started to go downhill. And then they had like gates. Like it's just like really weird that one. What's better, Roosevelt Field? I mean, Roosevelt Field is kind of It's not like I mean, it's basically Westfield Garden State Plaza, just add a JCPenney and Bloomingdale's. That's basically what the mall is. I mean, there's nothing wrong with Roosevelt Field. I'm not saying it's a terrible mall compared to some other malls on Long Island. It's the largest, probably the number one mall in New York State. But it's got its ups and downs, definitely. But I'm waiting to see for something to close in order to make a trip there. It's a very long trip too, and I would need an entire day probably. Oh, Flamingo Crossings. Are they getting a cheesecake factory too? Oh, just a okay, yeah. I mean that wouldn't be a bad thing. Racks do pretty well nowadays. Ross Park Mall, it's about a 6 hour drive and probably an hour and a half flight. If I had to absolutely be in Pittsburgh, maybe. The first Macy's in New Jersey? Well, that's tough. Oh, okay. Vineland Point. Got it. The first Macy's in New Jersey. Oof. Probably Macy's at Garden State. I know it wasn't a Macy's store, but it was like the first presence of Macy's in New Jersey because that opened in 1957, a year after the Roosevelt Field location opened. Except the difference was it opened up as a Bamberger's. Yeah, Pittsburgh is a bit of a drive. It's about a good solid 6 hours because it's on the other side of Pennsylvania. It's a bit of a drive. I mean, you could fly from here technically speaking, but it's a bit of a drive, and it's also it's a long flight. So I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's you got to plan for stuff like that. So excuse me. Oh my god! Wow, that really came out. Sorry about that, guys. So. I don't know. Okay, thanks. Yes, Destiny's getting one. South Hills Village? Maybe. Doesn't surprise me with those tenants. So, oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, if I go to Pittsburgh, I'll definitely. Yeah, that's interesting. All right. I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here. Thank you guys for watching, and that's